welcome to today's painting stream. How are we all doing today? It's apparently Sunday already. The weekend's gone way too quickly, but we're back again. 2 days on the run, streaming and painting some cool models. I am carrying on work on my bee snaggers, ready for the Purple Sparkly Unicorns tournament in the start of November. I am joined by Andy. Andy, what are you painting?
Well, today I'm painting some squigs that I've had in my backlog.
Some squigs in your bag.
Yeah. Been painting giants, and yeah, we finally got out of the giants bag. So
amazing. Cool. And Jay, you are with us today, and you are continuing work on the Emperor's Champion, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. So I did a. Oh, here we go. Here's my son. I did a lot of work on him yesterday during the stream. I did a little bit after the stream in between, and I'm hoping to get him finished today on today's stream. That's one of the characters out the way. Then I can get cracking on the infantry.
Amazing.
Because like you, I'm also trying to get the army done for the Purple Sparkly Unicorns.
Yeah, it's not as bad as a deadline as we've had in past events, is it? It's pretty relaxing compared to some of the ones that we've done, but still, we've both got essentially an army to paint by the first weekend in November. It's fine. We'll sort it. It'll be okay. We are joined by a couple of people in the chat as well. Teldar UK. So Dave is here in the chat representing. We've got Anonymous Rex over on Twitch, and Logan saying "Sup hobbyist" on YouTube. How are we all doing? Are we all painting some fun stuff today? What are you all working on? I'd love to know what you're painting. But yeah, these bee snags are really, really cool models. I've really enjoyed painting them.
It's a nice range now the Orks have got. I mean, the beef snaggers are ace, but actually overall the Ork range is in a good shape at the moment, I think.
The Ork range is, yeah. They've obviously they've had quite a lot of love over the years. I mean, they were in a similar situation to the Eldar at one point, where there was a lot of old kits in the 90s.
Yeah, that's right.
Over the last few years, they've been quite lucky to have a lot of new stuff come out. So yeah, there's a lot that I don't actually have. I mean, I think I was working out the other day, I've probably got 5,000-6,000 points worth of Orks, and I don't have like every model, which is crazy. Wow. It just shows how much stuff that they've actually got in the range now.
Yeah. That's a good collection of Orks, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't realise you had that many.
So I've got about nearly 3,000 points of Speed Freaks, about 1,500 points of Bee Snags. Obviously, they're not all painted yet, and then I could probably do about nearly 2,000 points of Goths. So give or take, yeah, about 5,000 maybe in total. Teldar UK says, I wish I was painting. Sadly, Papa Nurgle is visiting and sneezing so frequently makes painting difficult. I would, however, be continuing my Void Dragon if I was. And Logan is building Chaos Space Marines. That is also something that I want to do, Logan. I know you're in the same boat, aren't you, Andy?
Yeah, I think next year, as soon as January hits, all over the Chaos Space Marines.
What legion are you thinking?
To start off with.
To start with all of them, is that the answer?
Fully embracing chaos by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I think to start off with, I'll probably start with like Black Legion, maybe Iron Warriors, because I've always had a soft spot for Iron Warriors.
Yeah, Iron Warriors are cool.
But then, similar to with your Orks, I'd love to do like 1,000 points of Night Lords and theme it around Raptors and Warp Talons and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's why I've managed to do so much of the Orks, because it's quite nice being able to do little, I guess, sub-armies of Orks. Then you can put them all together under Gazgul for a Grand War, then, can't you? But it means that for each of those individual armies plays very differently, giving you a bit of variety. And then, you've also got the opportunity to do a massive, apocalypse game or something and get everything out.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to do with the Chaos Space Marines, but yeah, I think it's going to be next year at the earliest time. So,
well, rumours are they're getting some new stuff next year as well.
Yeah, perfect time.
Exactly. Well, I've got under my desk, I've got the Christmas box. What do they call it? A Decimator Warband that they released last year. That I've been meaning to paint up. I've kind of put it off because I was kind of waiting for the new codex for working out what's worth building, But then at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't think it matters too much, does it? It just kind of build what's fun.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of it's going to be invalidated. The Chaos Space Marines, you know, if you look at what they've done to the Firstborn, the loadouts don't really change much.
No.
For your general troops. It'll just be on your elite units where you've got options like Terminators, for example. You know, chain axes are the thing you want to take today, but tomorrow it might be chain fists.
Yeah, exactly. And the demon engines, the weapon loadouts, and even which of the builds that you do. So I don't know. I think it kind of makes sense to get some of that built and painted in anticipation of a new codex, so we've got an army good to go. Where if I wait until the book's out, then obviously I'm on the back burner then, aren't I? It's on the back foot trying to get the army together. So I think we were just chatting pre-stream that I think after I've done these, I'm going to finish off my Sons of Horus for 30k. And then after that, yeah, probably work on Gene Stealer Cults and then Chaos Space Marines. I've got a lot of stuff kind of I can work through without having to buy any new toys at the minute. So that's a pretty good position to be in.
Plus, we're getting towards the end of the year now, aren't we? So it's, I think for me, rather than starting anything new, I'm just going to try and finish off all the little projects that I've had over the last few months, and then that way, new year, new army sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. So I think normally, traditionally, when we get to the end of the year, we have a bit of our hobby roundup post for the year, and then work at kind of what we're working on in the next year. And I think it's safe to say the last couple of months of this year, we've been a bit more, I don't know, free form, let's say, than we have in previous ones. We used to be very kind of like, right, okay, we're getting this army done by X date. And really, with the lack of events, and events are coming back, but with the lack of events and stuff going on, we've had a bit more freedom to just kind of paint what we want.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been quite nice, really.
Yeah.
Just paint a load of random stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do enjoy battering through an army for a deadline. I don't know why. I'm some kind of weird sadist, I guess. But I quite like doing that. But it has been nice to just work. So we're lucky enough to be sent a lot of, well, I think all of the Warhammer Underworld stuff this year, and I've managed to paint those up as they got them sent to us, and they were really fun little palette cleansers. So I'll probably do the same for this new season of Underworlds, because that's up for pre-order next week as well.
Yeah.
And they've been some stunning models, haven't they, Underworlds?
Yeah. I mean, you look at the vampire stuff. But almost the vampires would come out.
I mean, the Chaos Warband. They were really nice. The Seraphon, I really enjoyed painting the Seraphon, to the point where I nearly bought a Seraphon army, but like we said last week, I couldn't do with some of the models that they had. What's going down in the chat? So, Logan says, black but alpha paint job looks the dogs. Okay. Is that Alpha Legion with a Black Legion paint scheme? Or transforming Alpha Legion? Yeah, you never know, do you, with Alpha Legion?
No.
Fabius Fulgham says, how is everyone this Monday morning? Monday morning there already. That's time travel going on. How are things down under? I'm guessing, where are you? You're probably coming up to summer now, aren't you? So weather's probably a lot nicer than here in sunny Crewe. Anonymous Rex, finished my Death Guard Sorcerer and Terminator Armor earlier. Playing Gladius at the moment. I've not played Gladius yet. It's is it a real-time strategy, or is it a turn-based kind of XCOM thingy?
It's a turn-based. Well, it's a turn-based, not XCOM. It's more like a Civ turn-based type game where you have like an empire of and there's a lot of I think it started off with I think it was Marines, Necrons, and it might have just been that. But I know they've added Tau. I think they've added Eldar. Orks, I think, are in there now.
You know what? I tell a lot. I think I have played it. I think it's in my Steam library. You know what we should do?
Game.
You know what we should do? We should have a bit of a gaming stream one day.
Oh yeah.
Where we all jump on Vermintide or Gladius or even Space Marine. I think there's a Space Marine. Is it 10th anniversary edition that's just come out?
Yeah, with all the DLC and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should do that. I think that sounds good. Logan says, I have all the projects on. Yeah, I know the feeling. Too much naked plastic. But we're getting there. The Siege Tower says, afternoon, gents. Afternoon, the Siege Tower. Is this your first time on the stream? Thanks for joining us today. Anonymous Rex says Civ. Dave says got Gladius but not played. Fabius Fulgrim says things are good. We're out of lockdown today, so I can get a game in this weekend. Excellent.
Nice.
Though I think the long-haired commissar will have other ideas. You'll get away with that, Fabius Fulgrim. It's super important. So yeah, no, that's cool. We've been lucky enough to be out of lockdown for a while now, haven't we, guys? And it seems strange, doesn't it, that not long ago we were in a similar situation where we couldn't actually play any games of Warhammer.
Yeah, for a long time, yeah.
And now tournaments back on. It's all very good. The Siege Star says yes, excellent. Well, thanks for joining us. So yeah, we are. If you've just joined us, I'm working on my Beast Snagger Orks for a tournament that we're going to. When is it, Andy? Start of November something.
It's the 7th of November.
The 7th of November. That's not too bad. We've got just under a month to get all these done. I've got a kill rig painted. I've nearly got these characters painted, and then I've got 9 Squig Hog Boys, 2 Knobs on Smasher Squigs, 2 units of 10 Beast Snagger Orks, and maybe, depending on how I build it, 10 Grots I might be able to shove in there as well. But I might drop the Grots for upgrades and my stuff, we'll have to see. Yeah. Siege Tower is working on 3 battle line units, horrors, total 150 models. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do the same actually. I've got a lot of horrors, but like you say, you need a lot of horrors to make that technically full squad. I picked up, what was it called? It's down there somewhere. Of something. The Broken Realms box that came with a load of horrors and a burning chariot. It was a dead good price. So I picked up that to kind of pad out my horrors, because something I do want to go back to at some point is my Legion of the First Prince.
Yeah, the First Prince, yeah.
And obviously with the bonus of playing Chaos is that you've also got the 4 kind of like God box. I've got a big Nurgle army. I'm similar to Andy. I'm very excited for a new Nurgle book coming out, which is rumoured to be soonish.
Yeah,
Though we've not actually heard any official kind of news yet, have we?
No.
As soon as we do.
Oh yeah, as soon as we do. I think we'll both be. I mean, what'll be good, I think we'll probably go for different flavours of Chaos, won't we, Andy?
Yeah.
You'll probably be quite mortal heavy, won't you?
Yeah, I've got about 5,000 points of Nurgle painted, so the only thing I'd probably add when Nurgle get a new book is maybe they bring out a load of new models, so probably go out and build and paint all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can easily do 2,000 point army of just mortals, but I think I want more. I only got 15 Blight Kings, so okay. I think I probably want at least another 10. Because where I build my armies, I like to have a bit of symmetry. So I want.
That's the OCD in you, is it?
Yeah, the OCD in me. Yeah, so I'd probably have like 2 units of 10 and then a unit of 5. That'd be my battle line.
Okay.
And I need to push for Blight Lords as well.
Well, see, I'm kind of the other flavour. I've got lots of Plague Bearers, lots of demons. I mean, I've got my Tamerkan's Horde stuff that sadly is Legends now. But I think Plague Toads work quite nicely as Beasts of Chaos, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look good.
I've only got one Beast of Nurgle.
Well, I've got one of the new plastic ones that I picked up because he looks ace. I've got all the new characters. I've got the classic Great Unclean one and the new plastic one. I haven't picked up Rotigus. I might pick him up at some point. So yeah, I've got back in old money. I had 3,000 points of Nurgle for Warhammer Fantasy. Don't know what that equates for in Sigmar. That was just demons as well. So I know Jay enjoyed chewing through units of 30 Plague Bearers.
Yeah,
with my disgustingly resilient rolls.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, I've got all that to come up for you in the new year then.
That's it. Well, see, it's a while since I've used them, so yeah, absolutely get them out of retirement when the new book comes out, because I did enjoy playing with them.
Well, so, yeah. at least one person did. They were all right. I have nightmares about them in 40k. To be fair, against me Eldar.
Yeah, we've got some history with with my Nurgle, haven't we? Oh well, it's all good. They'll probably be, really good in this edition. It'd be like
a 4+ disgustingly resilient.
Yep. So it'd be interesting how that works. Obviously, with ward saves being a thing now, they might not be quite as scary as they used to be, which is a good thing, I reckon.
Yeah, I think if we're going to keep it, we're going to streamline the books, aren't they? But I think things like that are just going to be a ward save of. I reckon it's probably going to be a 5+ ward save.
Yeah.
And then that way it doesn't really change it too much.
Just a universal Nurgle allegiance 5+ ward save, which means that if you take them as allies and other Chaos armies, they might not get that, which kind of stops your cheese in some of those ally choices then. What do they call them now?
Coalition?
Coalition, that's it. So, yeah. Anyone in the chat looking forward to building some Nurgle, or have you got an existing Nurgle force that you want to expand at some point in the future? What is going down in the chat? The Siege Tower says, "Long live Tzeentch and the Thousand Suns." Yes. Dave's got some 1,000 Suns to get built and painted, but it is towards the back of the queue at the moment. What is in your queue, Dave, and what is the order of your queue? Because your queue seems to move weekly on the podcast. What is the current focus for you? Fabius Fulgrim, 1,000 Suns are always at the back of the queue. Total Nightmare. The Siege Tower, I run a Nurgle army and War Master. 4,000 point War Master, eh? I haven't played that for a long time.
Epic fantasy, yeah.
War Master is so good as well. I sold a lot of my stuff a long time ago, and I kind of wish that I'd kept it because there were some really cool models. I had an Empire army and I had a Khemri army.
Oh wow!
And yeah, they were really nice. It was all metal, and like you say, it was kind of went on kind of rectangle bases. It was like basically like you say, it was like epic fantasy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a really, really good game. I'd kind of like to see that come back as well, maybe as a specialist game.
That can get in the queue with Battlefleet Gothic.
There's a lot in the queue. Caring Commissar over on YouTube says, "Good Sunday evening. How are you doing? Are you new to the stream? Thanks for popping by. We are doing some painting today. I'm working on my Orks. Andy is working on his Squigs, and Jay is painting up the absolutely beautiful new Emperor's Champion."
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to show you guys how good the model is built, because I know you've seen the sprues map, but you haven't seen the model built. It's such a it's brilliant. I mean, I think actually you may see a lot of people taking it in a regular Space Marines army as just like a chapter champion or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's really good idea.
It's just really nice. Seems a shame just to have it limited to.
Mass thanks to Logan2213 for following us. The Siege Tower says that it's all painted as well. That's impressive. If you're on Twitter, send us some pictures at Sprues and Brews. I'd love to see those. Draymar, evening. How are you doing? Anonymous Rex, wish Battlefleet Gothic came back. Oh, and Logan has subscribed as well using Amazon Prime. Thank you very much for your subscription. That is much appreciated.
Yeah, nice one.
Hope you're enjoying the stream. We tend to do weekly painting streams and gaming streams as well. So we didn't this week just because we didn't have any painted Black Templars. So in the next couple of weeks we'll be look to do a live game, Orks versus Black Templars, which would be a bit of fun.
Yeah, that'd be ace. It'd be cool if we could use our list that we're taking to the tournament as well. Get a bit of practice with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then we've got some Age of Sigmar team. I don't know if anyone in the chat's going to that, but there's a big team event at Warhammer World where you take a team of 4 people and take on some people in games of Age of Sigmar. We really need to get some practice games in for that, chaps, as well.
Yeah. Not sure practice is going to help us, but you know.
This is it. We'll just wing it. It'll be fine. Fabius Fulgrim says, "I was a little disappointed that they brought back Aeronautica Imperialis instead. Just can't get interested in that. Maybe it's just that there's no chaos yet." Yeah, has anyone picked up the new Aeronautica box? I know, Jay, you quite liked the Eldar models, didn't you?
I love the Eldar models, the Nightwing and is it the Vampire or the Phoenix? I can never remember, but the old school Eldar flyers, absolutely awesome. So glad they chose those models rather than the Crimson Hunter and Hemlock Rayfire. And then we saw the awesome anti-air turrets as well.
Oh, they look really nice from Forge World. Are you tempted to pick him up then, Jay? The Eldar.
I am tempted. The thing is at the moment I know I just haven't got any time in the schedule with the 2 events coming up. This army to paint that I'm not going to get. That I'm going to buy them and then not do anything with them. So I'm thinking that's going to be a set of models I buy for myself at Christmas.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Because I'm tempted to do those Space Marine models as Sons of Horus.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, because they are the heresy.
They are heresy vehicles, so that would work quite well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking anyway. So if I think you probably want to paint up the Space Marines, but if not, I'd happily split a box with you at some point, Jay.
Yeah, I will split a box. I don't have any intention of painting up the Space Marine forces in there. So we could go halves on that and then grab the Eldar.
Yeah, sounds good. Cool.
Save some cash and then we can maybe put the extra money towards the air defences or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds a plan to me. Karen Commissar says new to the stream, not the channel. Awesome. Well, it's nice to see so many people watching today. We've got a few people new to the stream tuning in live. If you are a regular viewer to the channel, you'll know that we put out a Black Templars review yesterday, I think it was. It all blurs together now. Yes, it was yesterday.
Saturday, that's right.
Yeah, really, really cool. The video is kind of my first impressions and flick through the book, and then Jay, you had a little bit more time with the book and have done a full write up. Little kind of view behind the curtain. You don't get long between getting it and having to get the video out, so that's why I kind of went for the unboxing and kind of just a read through of the book live. I think I managed to capture all the cool tricks and tips, and Jay, you kind of had a full deep dive into the book over on the website as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I had a closer look at the the in between the lines, different combinations and synergies, and of course that awesome Crusade section as well.
Yeah, it's I really, really like that. It's a really narrative one.
Yeah,
I kind of hope we see that kind of thing for the Age of Sigmar books.
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
I mean, the stuff in the Stormcast and the Uruk book's really nice. I mean, Nurgle's another contender for some potentially really cool Crusade content.
Yeah. The Garden of Nurgle, spreading the gifts of the Plague Father.
Yeah, well, this is it. One of your I forget what they call them now. The special territories that you can claim if you roll high on the territory chart.
Yeah, the not settlements, are they? What are they called?
Yeah, the territories, aren't they? I don't know if the top tier ones have got a special name, but those ones that you roll, I think it's like 61 to 66 on the chart, where you get some unique stuff. I can definitely see some special Garden of Nurgle stuff, gateways to the realm of chaos, or fun stuff like that. And again, this is assuming that the Nurgle are next. We've heard some reliable rumours, but we could be completely wrong, and it's Slaves of Darkness or something. Though, considering Slaves of Darkness got a mini supplement in White Dwarf, it's probably not them.
Yeah, I think if your army's getting stuff in White Dwarf, realistically, you're probably not getting a battle tome in the next 6 months. Realistically.
Yeah, exactly. The Siege says, I have it. The models are great. Phoenix painting up as Bealtan and Dracaris. Bealtan was my Eldar faction back when 2nd edition when I played Eldar.
Oh, the green and white.
Green with a kind of like thorn kind of pattern on them.
Yeah.
Siege says they're releasing the Thunderhawk. It's 2 times the size of an Astartes bomber. Yeah, I imagine it'll be red. Oh, it's plastic. It is plastic, isn't it? I am looking forward to that one too. Fabius Fulgham says, I did watch the Black Templars review. It was funny to see the negative comments from people who are obviously new. They didn't realise you're super positive about basically everything, even before GW started. This is true. This is true. So one thing to kind of note is that we are free to review and share our thoughts, however. So don't necessarily believe everything that you read on Twitter about things.
Yeah.
Is the short version anyway of what we can say.
Yeah, if something's bad, then we won't say it's amazing. We won't say it's good, but we'll try and be positive about it. We're not going to look at it and go, oh no, this is unplayable. Don't take it. It's rubbish. Blah blah blah. We'll be like, okay, yeah, it's good, but it's not silly. It's not over the top and stuff like that.
There's a fine line, isn't there, between being constructive and being aggressive about it. And if something isn't great, we'll call it out. We reviewed I forget what it's called. It is on my shelf just over there. Tactical Deployment, the kind of scenery-based battle plan book for 40k, where you, as part of your army, you took some terrain. However, the rules and points for all that terrain was in separate products, and I left that a fairly negative review.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to go positive. I think it's more about just, making sure that you are given a kind of like fair judgment to it. Robert Saxon Nudge. Evening, everyone. Trying to resist the temptation of Black Templars. Got my Necrons to finish, then Cruel Boys. I've got enough going on without this release. Maybe next year. Yeah, Black Templars have been really hard to resist. I know, obviously, the box. If you order it by the end of today, you're guaranteed a copy of it. And model-wise, there's not as many savings as the Ork box, but you still do save money buying it. I guess this is the caveat. If you're going to buy, look at that gorgeous book, Jay. This is the caveat.
£5 for this, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I think we worked out roughly that the contents of the miniatures is about £120. So, like Jay says, for roughly £5, you're getting the codex with that awesome cover and the data cards.
And it is a really nice supplement. The all the extra lore from the Indomitors era and things, and the artwork. I mean, I've really enjoyed this supplement.
Yeah, it's a really pretty book. Dave says, "Cough terrain, but cough." 5BS program. I get that. I know a lot of people wouldn't. It's not even good for GW to have only positives, that people will soon realise, and all the reviews would be worthless. Yeah, exactly. They don't want us to just blindly praise every release either. They want realistic releases. Unfortunately, people read things on Twitter completely out of context and maybe start barking up the wrong tree. It's one of those things. We've been lucky enough to get review stuff. It kind of comes with the territory, and you get people saying stuff online. You kind of grow a thick skin and take the comments with a pinch of salt. Is the short version, basically.
Just send the Black Templars after him.
Just send the Black Templars, yeah.
Purge the non-believers.
So yeah, what's everyone working on today? I know we've had a few people join later on. What are you doing hobby-wise? Who's ordered the Black Templars box and is starting a new force? If I didn't have a million projects on, I'd have been very tempted to do some Black Templars myself, especially after seeing the models that Jay's painting up. In fact, while I'm cleaning my brush, Jay, so we switch to your camera and just have a closer look at this guy. He's so good. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe a little closer to the camera, Jay. I don't know if... Can you all see that? We've got some really nice photos over on Twitter as well, at Sprues and Brews. But it's such a cool model. How have you enjoyed painting it, Jay?
I've really enjoyed painting it, and considering like black armor is very tricky to paint, using that tutorial, I've really enjoyed it. And I'm now I've spent the last 48 hours picking out the details, and I mean it's quite a simple model. Like the plate across his chest is got no detail on it. You've got the nice flat arm panels, the flat tabard, the flat tilt shield thing. So he's a really, really nice, clean model to paint. I have painted up a test Templar, which I also enjoyed painting up this guy as well. So yeah, I do, and I think the black against the white is quite a striking colour scheme. I think they're going to look nice when they're all done.
Yeah, Obviously, that highlighting does take a long time, doesn't it, Jay? But
yeah, it does,
looks
and
so good.
it's going to be tricky, I think, to try and replicate that level across the the basic infantry. So what I think I'm going to do is just acknowledge the fact it's going to take a bit more time and just do it in stages. You know, so maybe it'll take me a week and a half to do the edge highlighting on the black armor for all of my troops. Where normally that would really annoy me because I like to see a model finished. But it's one of those things. It's worth taking the time, I think, because and once you've done that, that's most of the model done. To be fair, so you know.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the event in November is that it doesn't have to be fully painted.
Yeah.
So you know, if all that we ask is that the model is built and it's primed, and that it is WYSIWYG, you know, what you see is what you get, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That for like one day it's kind of like, okay, yeah, just if you can put paint on it, great.
In case anyone in the chat doesn't know, do you tell us a bit about the purple sparkly unicorns, Andy?
Yeah, so it's a small gaming club based in Crewe in the UK, which is like in the Midlands. We started off, 4 years ago now, and we've basically been doing a load of 1-dayers and 2-dayers. We mostly started off by doing a lot of Age Sigmar events, sort of 1-day and 2-dayer ones, and then Mr. Chesters, the chief unicorn and fellow co-founder, co-runner, co-organizer, co-organizer. Let's go with that one. He's gotten the 40k bug, so he's been wanting to run a lot more 40k events, and it's kind of when we can get them in, sort of thing. Obviously, Craig ran a 2-day Age of Sigmar event 2 weeks ago this weekend.
Yeah,
it was a really good event. Quite a lot of attendees, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we're expecting probably like 30, something like that, and I think at one point we had like 48. So it was, it was popular, but obviously, like any events, you get a bit of, people can't make it, that sort of thing. But yeah, the club's been going strength to strength, and we've got. I mean, I'm not going to announce it on air, but we've already planned a couple of events next year, and we, hopefully we're not back in lockdown or anything silly like that. But yeah, we're planning quite a few events next year, actually.
Excellent.
We normally do sort of like 3-4 year, maybe something like that, and next year we're looking at doing almost double that. So
that's really cool.
Nice.
Awesome. So in the chat, Fabius Fulgrim, it's been hard not to order the Templars, but I'm really set an Alpha Legion when the new Horus Heresy box comes out.
Oh, Horus Heresy, come on, I can't wait for that.
I know. Draymar assembling demigryphs for Bobo in November. Excellent.
Oh, no.
Jacko building 1,000 Suns kill team, amazing. Dave says all this black armor talk has got me chomping to paint more Death Watch. Yeah. He's gonna do his as Ironforge. Just need that rumored box to be out. So Dave, are you going in on the Heresy bug then? We were debating this just before the stream, weren't we? Whether you'd go all in on the Heresy bug. Imperial Fist, is that sorry? IF. Nice.
Imperial Fist, yeah.
Those demigryphs are so cool. Very Sigmar too, considering they were a fantasy release. Fabius Fulgrim, I know, right? It seems forever since they've done a Saturday preview. Yeah, I was kind of expecting us to have one soon, because obviously there's releases for the last part of the year that they probably haven't announced yet. So I'm sure we'll get one at some point. I mean, there's quite a lot of stuff for them to put out, isn't there? We've obviously the dragons haven't come out yet. They're a big one that a lot of people are looking forward to. What else have we got on the way? we have got. That is a strap.
We've got the Bolt Boys for Cruel Boys, haven't we?
We've got the Bolt Boys. I do wonder if they'll be in a kill team, not kill team, Warcry box or something, in the same way that a few of the releases for the the Space Marines and Necrons were in the following January.
Yeah, the heavy intercessors and flayed ones. Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll follow the same kind of pattern there. Maybe.
We have got kill team though. The Sisters of Battle and Tau kill team.
We've got the kill team starter box coming out as well, which has the Orks and the Deathcore of Krieg and less of the scenery, which might be a more accessible way of getting into it. Obviously, there's the big Necromunda release with the
market,
the market and the Outlaw Warband and the book. So really looking forward to that. We've got the Adeptus Titanicus Traitor Legion book and the new War Master Titan Close Combat War Master Titan, because is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard of? The biggest Titan ever punching you in the face. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. So arguably that could be all the releases for the rest of the year, bar the super secret, definitely coming Heresy box that they haven't officially announced yet.
We've also got the Lord of the Rings, didn't they? The scenery piece. And,
there's 2 expansions for Lord of the Rings coming. We've got the Dol Guldur one with the scenery and the ring race and all that, and the plastic Witch King. And
the full Necromancer, that one.
Full of Necromancer, that's right, yeah. And then we've got the War of the Ring battle at Erebor as well, haven't we?
Yeah, between
I forget what that one's called. Easterlings, Erebor, and Lake Town, I guess.
What is it?
Dale.
Dale, that's it. Dale, yeah. So that'll be a cool book as well. We might see some upgrades for those factions because they are traditionally kind of Hobbit era armies, aren't they? So it's interesting to see how things have changed maybe in the time between the Hobbit and the War of the Ring. I think all 3 of us will be interested in that supplement when it drops as well.
Yeah.
So
I've not built my kings yet, my dwarf kings.
No, and Fabius Fulgen points out there's 2 more codexes that haven't been announced as well. Yeah, so I don't know if you were on the stream yesterday, but there's rumours that there's a Custodes versus Genestealer Cult box coming called Talon and Tendril.
Yeah.
Which that's what makes me think this is genuine, because that is a pretty spot on name for a GW battle box. And won't you know it, Jay's got a Custodes army and I've got a Genestealer Cult army. So it's likely that if that is the box, that the 2 faction releases that we haven't seen yet would be Custodians and the Genestealer Cult. Obviously nothing's certain until it's announced on Warcom, but it comes from a fairly reliable source, so it certainly wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Everyone watching, what codexes would you like to see next? And battle tomes, basically after this. But a short version is all this stuff that we've listed is probably realistically everything that's coming out for the rest of the year, because that's a lot of stuff to cram in, and then the usual kind of hobby supplies, battle boxes, that kind of stuff that they do over Christmas.
Those I'm looking forward to.
Those you're looking forward to.
It's going to be very... I don't know what they could do this year.
Yeah, sometimes you see the same army 2 years on the trot. Sometimes you'll see a fairly recent army, recent-ish, get a really good battle box. I could see Adeptus Sororitas getting a decent battle box. Not battle box, what do they call them?
Christmas
Italian
box.
Yeah, the Christmas boxes. They've got a name for them. Because they've had quite a few new releases and they had a big wave last year. They could put some of those slightly older kits into a Christmas box.
Yeah.
In the past, the kind of 2 armies out of a starter box have had fairly decent boxes to expand those forces as well. So if there's a cool Cruel Boys or Stormcast box with a few, even if it's some of the older kits, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Fabius Fulgham says, interesting. Haven't heard of that. Really hope Sisters of Silence get rolled into it. I absolutely do too, because I love the Sisters of Silence. They're one of my favourite kind of Horus Heresy factions, and it's a shame that there's a lot in, what is it, Inferno, the book? Yes, Inferno.
Yes,
the book
that's right. Yeah.
There's a lot of unit profiles in there that never actually got models. So I'd really like to see that either get support from Forge World, or is the reason that it hasn't been expanded because they're going to get plastic kits for them. Probably less likely, but I mean, even just a generic HQ choice and make the basic Sisters troops, give them a HQ choice, give them a transport that isn't a Rhino, even if it's the ability to use the 40k the Heresy transport in 40k, plus a new elite unit like the there's Maidens with Dogs is one of the units that they get, and Grenade Launcher Sisters with the psychotropic grenades. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Custodians can take the Coronis transport in 40k, which is the Heresy transport. And I don't actually think... I mean, we've heard rumours that Custodians are going to get like a Lieutenant or Chaplain type character in the battle box, in the set against the Gene Stealers. But they don't really need anything else, I don't think. They've got quite a good range if you include all the Forge World stuff. So, yeah, they could expand it with some Sisters and make it a true Talons army. Yeah. And then, like the recent sort of Age of Sigmar books where you get that one, and the Orc one as well, where you've got the different cultures that you can build an army around. You could go full Sisters, full Custodians, a mix of the two for a true Talons army. That would be really good.
See, I've not painted any Custodians really. But I'd absolutely do a full Sisters of Silence army if I could. So yeah, there's lots of potential there. Caring Commissar says Chaos and Guard, that's what I want. Hopefully we see both of those soon. Obviously we've seen the new Deathcore of Krieg get models in Kill Team, and Chaos are rumoured to be... I mean, Games Workshop has said that next year is going to be a very chaosy year, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Draymar says Craft Worlds or Tau need some love. Yeah, Craft Worlds probably now have the oldest range, don't they?
Yeah, and they are as well, the Craft World Elder. I mean, I'd love to see the Tau get a good book as well, because I feel when I read the Tau book, the Tau is a very hard codex to use, I find, because there's rules through the Tau Codex, rules through the Farsight Enclaves, and rules in the Psychic Awakening. It's very hard, I find, to put all that together. And they've got a lot of really funny army builds. You've got the Markerite system. You've got the, I can't remember, Montcar and Kayon, which I always forget to use in a game because you can only use them once per battle and you choose at the beginning of the game and you just forget about them. I find it it seems to be an army with lots of rules spread across lots of publications and things. I would love to see them just go back to the Tau and have to think about what they want the Tau to do. Because if you look at like Space Marines now, Space Marines can shoot better than Tau can ever shoot. They fight better than the Tau can ever fight. Tau don't have any psychic phase. What are the Tau about, really? I mean, you've got the drones that can do savior protocols, and to me that really feels like that's their gimmick. But they've got such cool models and such cool background that they could do something really smart with the Tau. You know, all those Crisis battle suits. That's a really, really cool, iconic thing about the Tau. So I really hope they have a proper rethink of the Tau and make them like their own distinct thing again. Yeah. But having said that, Craft World Eldar, I mean, the Eldar, they're one of the iconic, they were there at the beginning of Warhammer 40,000. They've always been in the game. And yeah, there's not really been, we had all the Ynnari stuff that came out for the Eldar, but they never really developed it. We never got any new units apart from those characters that came out at the time. The Dark Eldar had such a cool codex, and they've got such a cool play style, a really nice model range, a distinctive sort of play style as well. They really need to do something with the Eldar to bring them, modernize them, because there have been some strong Eldar units and some stronger Eldar army builds over the years, but I don't think they've been exciting or narrative army builds. I think they've just been strong because they've got some really gimmicky rules. So I really look forward to see what they do, like a proper refresh of the Eldar to bring them in line with the Indomitus era. The Beltan Craft world's been destroyed. Eldrad's like in exile. Inari, the Eldar Guard is potentially going to be waking up. Let's see that lore develop like they've done with the Primaris Space Marines and Guilliman. Yeah. Because the Eldar are such an important faction. So
I kind of feel, Jay, that they need to be the focus of one of these two-part campaign books.
Yeah,
that's
like
a nice
a
way of
rebirth
expanding
of
the
the
lore
Eldar.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be ace. I mean, I've sort of got. If I was to put money down, I think that they would expand the aspect side of the Eldar craft worlds, which I think is really, really cool because the aspect warriors and the path of the Eldar, that's an iconic part of the Eldar background. I mean, I like the Wraith units and I like the psychic sort of element to the Eldar as well. But, we've got striking scorpions, dark reapers, fire dragons, warp spiders, swooping hawks, donkey's years old models. Yeah. And such really cool background. The Phoenix Lords would be like your Emperor's Champion equivalent type model in that range as well. Really nice centerpiece model. Avatar of Cain, the Court of the Young King, the Autarchs. The actual the war aspect of the Craftworld Eldar, I think would be really, really cool to focus on.
Yeah, I think the difficulty is that a normal release would probably be an aspect unit and a champion, wouldn't it? I don't think we'd see them all in one go.
No.
But even if they gradually introduced them, like Kill Team, you could use as a way of releasing an aspect in a battle box for another, and then the main codex release. They have got more ways of putting more models out now, haven't they?
Definitely, yeah. I am excited. I'm hoping next year is the year that the Eldar come back to the front and we start seeing the Eldar in some of our games. Because when was the last time I used my Craftworld Eldar? It was at a Purple Sparkle Unicorn event, actually.
Oh God, that was what, like March?
It would have been in 8th edition. It wasn't the last one. It was the one before that, I think, or even the one before that.
It's been a while,
it would have been
anyway, isn't it?
8th edition. Yeah, it has been over a while.
So Logan 2213 says, I'd like to see more starter kits for people joining the hobby. Yeah, new different like starter boxes and battle boxes, and I think they've done well with the battle boxes and theming them around a different faction each time. I think we'll see them continue thick and fast because I think they've been pretty popular. Fabius Fulgrim, 40k Chaos needs love. Demons, Marines, Knights. We've had enough Xenos and Marines. Yeah, I think I've got a feeling that next year we'll see. I'd like to see Emperor's Children and World Eaters. I've got a feeling we're more likely to see Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Knights next year. I'd love to see Demons because then you can do a dual release for AOS and 40k, because I've got a feeling that Bellacor's Legion might become a distinct faction in Sigmar with its own book, which would be ace. Thankful79, what was the last new aspect? Was it Warp Spiders? So we saw the Howling Banshees get released, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, so they've had the plastic kit, and then prior to that, I think it was 5th edition or maybe 4th edition. Some of the Aspect Warriors got a bit of a refresh. So the Striking Scorpions got a refresh. Ironically, the Howling Banshees also got a refresh at that time as well, and the Dark Reapers and Fire Dragons got a refresh. So prior to that, I've still got actually the old Striking Scorpion models and the Striking Scorpion models before that. I've got the old Howling Banshee models and the Howling Banshee models before that, which I actually preferred. Actually, the first, well, they were the 2nd gen Howling Banshees. But yeah, the Warp Spiders and Shining Spears were left behind. They didn't get any new models, so that the Shining Spears and Warp Spiders go back, I believe, to either the end of 2nd edition or start of 3rd edition. With the Avatar of Cain, not the Forge World one, the Games Workshop one. So they're the 3 oldest sort of Eldar Aspect Warriors and Aspect themed models. So if we saw new Warp Spiders, new Shining Spears, and a new Avatar of Cain, that would be brilliant. Funnily enough as well, the Shining Spears and the Warp Spiders, they're the 2 Aspect Warriors that don't have a Phoenix Lord model. And I'm not even sure they've got a Phoenix Lord actually in the background as well. So potentially you could see new Phoenix Lords come to the fore there as well.
That'd be interesting.
It would, yeah. And then of course there was all Aspect Warriors in the lore that we don't even have models for. The Slicing Orbs the Slicing Orbs. They were an Aspect Warrior, very rare that have only been mentioned in the background. I think they were mentioned as far back as 3rd edition. And then on the Forge World side as well, you've got Shadow Spectres with Irileth, is it? The Phoenix Lord for the Shadow Spectres.
They're really nice models as well. See, we've seen a lot of old lore become new models, haven't we, recently, from both systems. So if there's stuff that's mentioned in the lore that hasn't got models, It's a fairly good shout that we might get some support for him, especially as a new unit to add to the army as well.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it because actually, I mean, with the fire prisms, the Falcon Grav tanks, they're very, very, very old models, 3rd edition models. I think the fire prism had a bit of an upgrade, the Wave Serpent had a bit of an upgrade, but the basic hull is old. Yeah, but I actually think they still look good. I don't think they're not bad looking models.
I always thought it was a shame that the Wave Serpent was an upgrade frame for the Falcon. Where in Epic it had a very distinct shape to it. It was more elongated, and I'd have loved to see. I guess that's the thing now. They can just invent a new transport, a new tank.
Yeah, that's it. You know, the Eldar aren't sort of they're not hindered like the Imperium are with their, they've lost all the knowledge. The Eldar potentially are still developing new vehicles and things. So you could add a new tank or vehicle or even aspect warrior to the lore without actually breaking the lore.
Well, that segues into what Thankful 79's saying. Sorry, I meant new aspect warriors, as in a new type. It's been 25 years, hasn't it? Someone picking up that White Dwarf 126, whatever it was the almost exactly the same range. Yeah, so I think the newest one is probably the what are they called? The ones you mentioned earlier, the Forge World ones that they introduced.
The Shadow Spectres.
Shadow Spectres, yeah. So they were released from Forge World, and I think they're still available now.
Yeah, they are.
They're really cool. They're probably the last new aspect added to the system.
And there was a whole campaign about that Phoenix Lord awakening as well on that lost planet, the Mimera Craft World or whatever it was.
Yeah. Was it tied to a Imperial Armor book, I want to say?
It was an Imperial Armor book, yeah. I can't remember the Mimera. I believe the Space Wolves were in it. The Eldar were in it, and I can't think what else. The Space Wolves were fighting another faction, I believe. It could have been Imperial Guard were on there, actually, and then the Mimera Craft World sort of woke up. There was a really cool bit in there about these Titans as well, the Phantom Titan and the Revenant Titans stalking across this frozen plain.
Yeah, I kind of miss the Imperial Armor books. But that's kind of the campaign books have kind of taken the place of them now, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
For advancing the lore and adding new stuff. Because the good thing with the campaign book is that you could have a model release tied to it without having to have a big army release, because you can always put the data sheet or war scroll in the book, can't you?
Yeah, you could, yeah. Having said that, I would like to see a Sisters of Battle or Beast Snagger scale release for the Craft World add-on, or even Black Templars would be a good one. You know, Black Templars have had an Emperor's Champion, a Marshal, Helbrecht, Grimaldus, Primaris Crusaders, Sword Brethren, 7 new kits, and you include the Castellan. And that would be fine for a Craft World Eldar release, I think, because you could add a couple of an Autarch, a Phoenix Lord, a couple of Aspect Warriors, maybe a new vehicle. I think that would be great.
And that's what they need. It just kind of brings the range up to date. Even if they can't, change it all in one go, it starts the ball moving, doesn't it?
Could you imagine that as well, Andy and Matt? Like the Black Templars Army Set, we get a limited edition Craft World Eldar Codex with some 3rd edition Craft World Eldar artwork on there.
3rd edition. I'd go with the original cover, Jay, with it a Exarch on the front of it.
Was it the Dire Avenger Exarch or Azurman himself? Actually, I can't remember now. Yeah.
That's some classic artwork.
But they were all wielding las guns rather than shuriken catapults.
That is what I'd love to see. That ties into our top 3 for this week as well. So if you've not listened to our podcast before, we have a weekly podcast that goes out on a Tuesday or Wednesday. If Dave was here, he knows the details of that. We just turn up and record it. But we have a top 3 segment where we ask the community their top 3 of a subject, and this week we want to know your top 3 covers from books and boxed games, inspired by the absolutely beautiful Black Templars limited edition cover, based on the 3rd edition cover art. And I don't know if you guys have had a think yet of what you Many Nerds Nerding has raided us with a party of 3. Hello, thanks for raiding us. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We're doing some painting. I'm painting some Beast Snaggers. Jay is painting up the absolutely gorgeous new Emperor's Champion, and Andy is working on some squigs. I mean, technically, I'm working on some squigs as well. He's just on a drip hanging from this Doc's backpack.
I can, this paint stream, the Black Templar Army is raging at the amount of Xenos on this stream.
There is a lot of Xenos on this stream. How are you doing, many nerds nerding? We're doing exactly the same thing as you doing, and wanted to check you guys out. Well, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy the stream. We're just chilling and doing some hobby. What have you guys been working on? Painting anything exciting? So, I lost my train of thought. What were we chatting about then? Eldar. Oh yeah, covers. So our top 3. Ooh, and Vic to Live has just followed. Thank you very much. So I found this one really hard, guys. I don't know about you. Obviously, don't spoil what your top 3 are. We'll save that for the podcast. But there's been a load of classic artwork and box art and stuff that would look great as posters up on the wall. And Ulash the Mind Flayer has also followed. That's an awesome name. Many Nerds Nerding was building / destroying some terrain. Destroying in what way? Did you...
Mega Gargan on the stream.
Mega Gargan, yeah. So cutting back to the top 3, so hard. I mean, I could easily have a top 10 of favourite artworks. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, and like you say, the first instinct is to go back to those classic pieces that got you into the hobby, But then actually, there's also been some fantastic artwork, I think, for the 9th edition codexes as well.
There has been.
It is good. It is tough. There's that much out there. I think we're going to see lots of different top 3s tomorrow.
Yeah, which is cool. I think obviously it's a very personal thing. A lot of them are tied to kind of the factions or armies that people got into the hobby with.
Yeah.
I've accidentally painted the fingers of this orc red while I was distracted. Just fixing some bits on here. Many Nerds Nerding has been doing some Necromunda terrain. Distressing terrain. That does sound better. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Necromunda terrain. If you head over to Warhammer Community, I actually did a guide on painting the Zone Mortalis stuff. I'm super excited for getting the new market. I don't know when it's out, but I need it in my hands right now because I think that'd work well on like a bespoke tile with a bit of a shanty town. Maybe mixed along some Minotaurium crates that have been turned into little workshops and bars and stuff. And then some really like tight corridors, kind of, very Blade Runner style, kind of shanty town underneath the spires.
Yeah.
I think that looked really cool. We are starting our new campaign tomorrow and I need some more. Yeah, you can never have too much Necromunda terrain. The game always looks better with masses of it. Right, let's do that squig there. But yeah, making good progress on these orcs. How are you guys getting on?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm basically painted all the basic colours on 7 out of the 8 squigs. The only one I haven't done, focus, is the squig with a grot in his mouth.
Oh, let me switch to your camera. The squig with a grot in his mouth, amazing.
Yeah. It's from the Warhammer MMO, isn't it? One of the classes in that the squig herder class. One of his ultimate abilities was that he could jump into the actual squig and like ride the squig. It's like a war machine.
There's a squig in. It's just a normal squig from a squig herd box, but one of the squigs has a grot in his mouth, which is great and it's hilarious, but at the same time, it's almost like painting a grot and a squig at the same time.
Yeah, and in a Gloomspite Gitsum, you've got a lot of models to paint already, haven't you?
Yeah.
So Thankwall in the chat says, remind us who is supposed to be doing a Skaven army for Path to Glory, because I've nearly judged to a halt and badly need inspiration. So I think he's disappeared from the chat for a little bit. He probably knew the question was coming. But Dave's got an on and off relationship with the Skaven, hasn't he?
Yeah.
As in, he really wants to do one, but I think he's
getting distracted.
He keeps getting distracted, yeah.
Which is a very Skaven sort of trait, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Well, I did the Skaven army back in, I think it was beginning of 8th edition when I was getting sort of back into the hobby. I did a Skaven army then. I absolutely loved it. I think they're one of those armies, especially with clan rats. If you sit down, pick like 8 colours and you stick to those 8 colours and you just do all of those clan rats, after those clan rats are done, then it's all sort of fun, exciting stuff after that. You never have to go back and paint anymore.
Yeah, you've got to be quite disciplined in production. And I painted a Skaven army, must have been 7th edition maybe. And yeah, it's just, I'm not going to lie, it is a slog getting through that kind of horde of troops that you need. And obviously back then, arguably, you needed more bodies than you do in Sigmar these days. Because in Sigmar, you've got other options you can do to maybe not have that true horde army. But back then, yeah, you absolutely needed all the units of all the Skaven, and it's just powering through them, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a few corners you can cut, and you can probably do a lot with contrast on them now as well.
Yeah, you could, yeah, definitely. The problem for Dave is the Orc War Clans book came out, and the new Stormcast book come out, and I think, and he wanted to do his Necrons, and like you say, Skaven, you do have to devote a bit of time to it.
They're not a quick one to churn out, are they?
They're not, no. And Dave is pretty good with the contrast. So Dave, they would be a good army for Dave to paint, but the Games Workshop release schedule hasn't been kind to Dave.
No, I know that he has got a lot that are ready to paint though, so he'll get on them. They'll be on the stream one day.
He needs like a year like I had. So on the Age of Sigmar side, there was no Age of Sigmar army, for about 18 months that I've really wanted to collect since the Lumineth came out. So I haven't been distracted on the Age of Sigmar side. The Stormcast were very good, but I do want to do some dragons, but I'm not desperate to do them. So I've been able to just, I'm painting some Age of Sigmar. It's just going to be my Lumineth, and that's all. He needs like an 18-month period like that to get his Skaven army going, I think.
He does, yeah. He absolutely does. But hey, he'll get him done. I think it's an army that he doesn't want to rush.
No, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to go quiet for a second. I'm just painting eyes.
Ah, good old eyes.
Good old eyes. With a tiny size 000 brush, try and get these painted. So what are you guys, obviously you talked a little bit about Heresy, Jay. What are your kind of plans for the new year, hobby-wise?
So the new year, yeah, on the Heresy side, I want to get my Blood Angels done this year. So 2,500 points of Blood Angels done this year. So I've actually got my Legion, whatever it's called here. It's like the artillery tank in pieces here to paint up, to add to my 2,500 point army. And I've got a Land Speeder Javelin over there as well, which I need one more of. So I want to get them done this year. So next year, I do also want to paint up some more Horus Heresy. So I've got here the 2 Ultramarines characters that I've not built yet. So potentially Ultramarines
cool.
Would be a Horus Heresy army for me there. And then next year, so there's not really any Warhammer 40,000 army. I want to add another unit to the Custodian, some Wardens, because I think the Wardens might get a few changes in the new codex. So I want to get the Wardens added as well. But next year, really, I'm looking forward to revisiting the Craftworld Eldar. And on the Age of Sigmar side, I'm really waiting for more elves or dwarfs. So if we see Grungni and his dwarfs next year, that'll be an army that I'll be really keen on doing. Or if we see Malarian and the Ulgu elves, the Shadow elves, that would be an army I'd be really interested in doing as well. So really, I'm just waiting for Eldar, elves, and dwarfs, and I think I will keep myself busy with some Horus Heresy in the meantime.
Excellent. How about you, Andy? Any plans for either the rest of the year or next year? And everyone else in the chat as well, let us know what your hobby plans are.
So I think for the rest of the year, I've got a bunch of Gloomspite Gits that I want to kind of get done, and then I've got like the Cursed City stuff as well, which I think is going to lead on next year into 2 armies that I really want to do, which is Gloomspite Gits and Silverlight Gravelords. So I'm going to try and get them. I think because I set myself hobby resolutions at the beginning of every year, which I know you guys have done on the show as well. But obviously, with me joining the podcast this year, my hobby resolutions are well, I've got a big list. So I've got, like, this year, it was one of them was to paint 2 armies to 2,000 points. So I've done, like, Sons of Behemat, and I've almost finished off my Ossiot Bone Reapers. I'm down to, like, the last 200 or so points of my Bone Reapers. And I think next year, especially to start off with, I think I'm going to crack the whip and try and get some Gloomspite kits done, and some Soulbite Gravelords done. And then I think for 40k, I want to get my Chaos Space Marine army on the go, try and get that done. And then, yeah, I think realistically, I want to try and get in, play some more specialist games and stuff as well. Obviously, when it was me, sort of before, I only really played 40k Age of Sigmar, and it was more sort of Age of Sigmar. But since in the podcast, obviously, you guys are into Necromunda and Aeronautica and Underworlds and all that sort of stuff. So I think hopefully going into next year, I'll try some more specialist games. Yeah, I'm absolutely love the new edition of Age of Sigmar. So I think starting with Gloomspite kits and Soulbite Gravelords, I think that'll be the beginning. I might push myself next year and try and get like 3 Age of Sigmar armies done.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, at least to 2,000 points. I mean, I've got my Ogres, I've got some Blades of Khorne, I've got some Disciples of Tzeentch, which I've got 2,000 point armies for, but it's armies of models that I have rather than armies that I want.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be adding a bunch of stuff to those, just to update them and bring them in line with the new edition sort of thing. So
cool.
Yeah, quite a lot, to be honest with you.
Awesome. Well, in the chat, Thankful says, maybe if I finish these Storm Vermin, I should gently taunt him. Though the Dominion Stormcast are bound to distract me if I ever decide on a Storm host. Yeah, those Stormcast out of the new box are so nice. Just waiting for the rest of the range to come out now. Ulash to Mind Flayer says, I agree, we need some more dwarves. I'd love to see some more Dwarden in the Dawn Crusades. Yes. Logan 2213, not buy more plastic and clear the massive backlog that I have. That's a hard job to do. Something that
I'll tell you what, during lockdown last year, what I ended up clearing a lot of my backlog, a lot, and now I'm sort of looking at it and I'm like, I haven't got a huge amount of stuff to paint.
That's impressive.
I've got these 8 squigs, 4 hurt. I've got about, realistically, probably like 120 models, which, when you consider like 10 of them are skeletons and 10 of them are zombies and 12 of them are squig herds and stuff like that, it's not a huge amount of models left to paint.
Yeah. And
then obviously the Ork stuff. For 40k, I've added probably about 50 Ork models. So yeah, it's probably about 120 models left to paint. So
that's good going, Andy. That's impressive. I see Dave's back in the chat saying, I'll never see the end of my backlog. So Dave, someone in the chat, Thankwall, in fact, was asking about your Skaven. What's the progress on your Skaven? Let us know what the plan is. Rob270779 says, finish the Necrons, which I've legit nearly all bought, built and painted, and then Crawl Boys for the rest of the year. Going into next year, I've got Marines and Stormcast already. I've also got Lumineth Realmlord special box set all painted. I'm not sure if to carry on with them. I wish I hadn't painted Marines in ultra colours because I fancy Templars instead. You could add a Templars force as well as your Ultramarines.
Yeah, just add another detachment.
Or do a little Crusade force of them maybe.
Yeah,
the good thing with 40k now is you don't necessarily need to go all in with both systems. You don't need to go all in with 2,000 points, and that's the point where you can start playing. I'd argue that you can play really enjoyable games with low power levels or 1,000 points. Even we played some games in the summer of 600 points, Age of Sigmar, and they were really enjoyable games using the new Crusade system. And we had a day, didn't we? We went to Warhammer World and took, what was it, 50 power each of 40k armies, and again they were really enjoyable games. So don't feel like, obviously it depends on your gaming group, but don't feel like 2,000 points is what you need to paint before you can play games, because you can definitely play enjoyable games with less than that now with all of the systems. The exception is Heresy, where I think you need realistically a 3,000 point game. I think it just works around that point, but that's not to say that they don't
Zone Mortalis is quite nice.
Zone Mortalis. Zone Mortalis, because that works in like a confined kind of space that you're fighting in, doesn't it? Logan 2213 says Dettle bath them. Yeah, you've recently stripped some stuff, haven't you, Jay? Some Eldar for Battlefleet Gothic, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Using Dettol, and they came up good as new.
So yeah, it is. If you do get to the point where you do want to repaint something, you can definitely give that a go, and it works really well. Dave needs to get his Skaven tabletop ready, 1,000 points. Well, Dave, if you get 600 points painted, then we can start on our crusade. Currently have a unit of Clan Rats, an Engineer, a Claw Lord, a Greyseer, and 1.5 Storm Fiends done. That's good doing.
Yeah, that's more than I thought he had done.
Yeah, I think you need to crack on with them, Dave, because that'd be really cool.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, yeah. that is the best way to hobby. Oh, can I just say, Instar Black is chef kiss.
Love it, chef kiss.
So silky smooth. Have you guys used any Instar stuff yet?
I've not.
No, not really. It's because I just, the convenience of using my Games Workshop collection. That's why I don't experiment much. I should do, really.
Yeah, obviously with Games Workshop you've got the advantage that A, they're pretty much mixed colours, and B, you can just go to the local store and buy them.
Yeah.
But the coverage and finish of these is really, really nice. It's definitely worth trying some different paint ranges and seeing what works. But again, at the end of the day, paints are expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you've got a collection that you kind of locked into, you'll kind of carry on with them. But I tend to use a wide range of paints.
Yeah, I popped into our local Games Workshop the other day and walked out with 6 paints and a couple of brushes, and it still came to about £40.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a big investment getting paints, and I guess the advantage that you've got from Games Workshop is they do a lot of nice starter sets now.
Yeah.
They sent us the Cruel Boys painting set to review, which is just out of reach, but that's a really nice set. You get a frame of Cruel Boys to practice on, and you kind of get the core colours that you'd need. I remember way back in the midst of time, my first purchase was something similar. I think it would have been maybe a second edition 40k one, where you got one of the terrible plastic Gretchen and a Space Marine. But it's quite nice being able to have a set of those like prime colours in order to like kind of get your feel for the range.
Yeah.
And then it escalates from there. I've got like a 7-drawer unit filled with paints from different manufacturers now.
Well, Games Workshop are doing that thing on Warhammer Plus, aren't they? Where if you're subscribed or whatever, you get entered into, is it the whole range?
Yeah, so I think 4 people will win the entire Citadel Paints range, including tools and accessories and paints, and yeah, that'd be a really cool prize to win. Definitely refill the paint supplies anyway with that.
Yeah.
Let's give him a black pipe there.
Oh my god, I can't believe it's 8:30 already.
I know, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Just looked at the time then and I was like, oh, I wonder what time it is. Maybe it's 8 o'clock.
Well, once I've painted this, we'll have a quick flick through our screens and see what we've done. I've nearly got the base colours down on all these guys, so I'm really happy with the progress tonight. Everyone at home, how are you getting on? Have you managed to do much work on your models? If you have painted some stuff, you send it over to our Twitter page at Sprues and Brews. I'd love to see what you're doing. We did mean to have a bit of a regularly monthly update of hobby, but we've not posted it the last few months, so we should get back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the Tale of Sprues?
The Tale of Sprues, yeah. I think we should do a post and gather together the community hobby progress over the last couple of months.
Yeah, well, I started the Bone Reapers as part of the Tale of Sprues thing, and yeah, seeing them come along the last 6 or so months, I think it's been. It's been yeah, it's been really fun.
You've done really well, the Bone Reapers. Just switching to the chat. Dave says he uses Water Plus sometimes and the brush cleaning stuff. That'd be Instar Soap Plus. Keeping it on brand. Rob says, I'll keep that in mind, everyone, thanks. Be interesting to see Army Painter speed paints as someone who doesn't have contrast and has Army Painter war paints. Yeah, so I think they only announced them today or yesterday, but essentially it's Army Painter's equivalent of contrast, and I think it will work the same way. So yeah, interested to see that. I think a few other brands are kind of going into contrast style paints because obviously the Games Workshop ones have been super popular and good reason too. They are decent paints. Logan 2213 has almost finished building 10 Chaos Space Marines. Nice.
Let the galaxy burn.
Let the galaxy burn, yeah. And Dave says he flipping loves contrast for most types of painting. Yeah, Dave pretty much exclusively uses contrast now. To the point where we get a little grumpy if I suggest him use something that isn't contrast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is good. There's some things that it's maybe not suited for. I'd argue anything that isn't organic, so tanks and anything with lots of like flat surfaces, you'll end up with lots of pooling and you'll struggle a little bit. But anything organic, so flesh, orcs,
Scales.
monsters, scales, anything like that, it is magic in a bottle. So yeah, I mean, I use a lot of different like paints anyway. I've got the airbrush, so I'll do some things with the airbrush, and I've actually tried contrast through an airbrush, and that has some interesting properties as well. For like, if you want to do like coloured metallics, paint it silver, and pop on some contrast over it, and because the contrast's like transparent, you'll get a nice effect. Logan 2213 says, "How close are you from setting up a Discord?" I really should. I really should do that. It is on the to-do list. If you keep asking me every week, eventually I will get it done. It would be cool because then we can see all your hobby progress on there as well, and it's a nice place to do the Tale of Sprues as well. And I'm sure we could even do some like a special area for Twitch subscribers like yourself, Logan. I think we should do that. Definitely, if people are using their precious Amazon Prime subscription for us, we should definitely reward that somehow in as little way as we can. So yeah, watch this space. I'll look into the details and get it sorted. Dave says, when can we get a super popular GIF or something for Twitch? # Matt's favourite quote. Yeah, I you know what? We do have the ability to do some little emotes and GIFs and stuff. So if you've got any ideas, let me know and I can look into the logistics of doing that as well. There's all sorts of cool stuff we can do that I need to have a look at. So yeah, let us know. Right, I think I've very nearly got all the base colours down apart from the white, which is the messy bit. So I think we'll put some brasses down next, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So do you want a quick share of where we're up to? We're about an hour and 20 into the stream. Andy, do you want to go first and show us what you're working on?
Yeah. So I've basically done all the base colours on all the squigs. So it's mostly some of them have like mushrooms and a bit of rocky outcrop on the base. I've painted them sort of like Rakoff flesh and XVAE. The squig itself is just Mephiston red, and then I've done Xandri dust for all the horns and stuff, and then the lip. I've just done Bugman's glow, and then I've given all the lips a coat of Caribou crimson, just to make them look a bit more natural, shade them and stuff. But then the one squig with the grot in his mouth is still still taking up a bit of time to get into that. I'm happy with. So once I've just done the second coat of Death Guard green on the skin. I painted up the same squig with the grot in his mouth probably about a year ago now, but I went for a dark skin tone. So I'm just trying out a lighter skin tone on this grot, just to see which of the two I like before I buy, like 180 grots or whatever and paint them up with the wrong shade of green.
Oh, that'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Do you? So I don't know if you guys do, but I've got it to hand. Let's see if this will show very well on the stream. Let me switch to my camera briefly. So I actually keep a little notepad where I write down all my colour schemes in it. And I've got multiple armies in here. I could digitize it, I guess, and have this a bit easier to follow. But you can have little diagrams of where to highlight based on the Louise Sugden video. But I find that a really easy way. It means that in 6 months, when I've inevitably forgotten how to paint an army, I can look back in my book and go, oh yeah, they're the colours that I used.
Yeah, I've done. I painted up some demonettes last year, which I'm super happy with. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I can't remember the base purple I've gone for. I'm like, I haven't got that many purples, so I could probably work it out quite easily. But I was sort of like wondering, how did I paint that skin tone on the Slanesh? I was like, oh.
Yeah, so it's luckily all my demons. So I had a massive demon army for Warhammer Fantasy, and luckily that same book has all my demon schemes in, so I can recreate those with the modern colours. Jay, do you want to show us your progress?
There we go. So he's coming along nicely now. I'm not sure I'll get him finished tonight, but I should get most of the way there. So I've been working on the leather belt and the buckles, the sort of rosary beads or whatever he's got in his hand here, and the little gold trinkets. And now I'm just working on the blade. So I've done the gold now. I need to do the handle and the actual blade itself. So I'm going to try and focus on this bit now for the rest of the stream. And then tomorrow, I guess, then it's the tabard that's sort of flowing through him here, hanging down on the front there. And finish off the base, and then that's the Emperor's Champion pretty much done.
Nice. Yeah, that's looking really cool, Jay.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this guy. He's a good model to paint, get out of the way, and sort of motivated and to get the rest of the army done.
Filled with the glory of the Emperor. I guess after you finish this, you'll put some pictures up on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I'll post some more work in progress on Twitter.
Awesome. Well, I have been working steadily through these orcs. Let me just close this paint pot so I don't get it everywhere on here. So I've got a pain boss. So he's getting there. A lot of the base colours down. Just need to do the white really, and then do some washes and highlights, and then we're done. The white gets sponged down with some Rhinox hide and some lead belcher. We have got Zodgrog, is he called? Again, majority of the base colours down on him. Just need some washes and highlights on. And then base these guys, obviously. And then we have got the named Snake Bites Squig Rider guy. The white balance has gone really bad there, but hopefully you can see him okay. So he's, again, most of the base colours are down on him. I've started picking out some of the colours on the Squig as well. He needs a white belly and some kind of detailing doing on, but I've done most of the non-Squig colours, so quite happy with that. And then in about 7 different parts across my desk, we've got the Beast Boss. Just because he's got a lot of different layered detail, I'd definitely recommend keeping this guy in multiple parts, because a lot of these like shoulder pads and arms and stuff obscure some of the other detail. Yeah. I'm nearly at the point where I can actually stick it together now and then kind of finish off the details. But yeah, he's getting there. I need to touch up his eyes a little bit, where I've gone a bit into the green, so I'll just pick those out and then they'll be done. And then yeah, that's Orks. So what have we got going on? Logan says he could help us set up channels. He's an admin on an Elder Scrolls Online guild Discord and deal with all the Discord. And well, we may have to give you a shout if we have any issues. That's much appreciated. Dave says, I kid you not, Miles just managed to get the painted stream up on his mum's phone. Well, that's a great taste that Miles has got.
Hi, Miles.
Dave says, yeah, I love that Beast Boss model, the Termy Orc. Yeah, he's a bit of a beast, isn't he? As far as orcs go. Oh, I forgot to show you my little medic runt guy as well.
The unicyclist.
Unicycle cyborg grot guy. He's a really nice model. Right, so yeah, I think we've got put the brass down. We've touched up a few bits, and then yeah, we've got most of the base colours down. Then it's the white. The white takes quite a few coats of Corax white. I thin it with water plus to within an inch of its life, and build up about 5 or 6 layers of that to get it usable. It's
the same on the shoulder pads.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good white, but takes some work getting it right, doesn't it?
Yeah, I use it a lot on the Luminef as well, actually, on the armor paneling for that as well. But it's over a Wraithbone base, so it's not too bad.
If you pop a couple of drops of Water Plus into the bottle, Jay, and give it a shake with a glass bead in it, it makes it a lot less chunky.
Oh, right, nice, yeah.
Because it can be a bit thick, can't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just picking out some of these rivets and stuff with some Rune Lord brass now. Just add a bit of variation to the metallics, because you can find if you have the same kind of like tone of silver across the whole model, it can look a bit samey sometimes.
Yeah.
So
it's a good trick to use on Titans for Adeptus Titanicus.
Yeah, exactly. So it just adds a bit of variety. Some of the like belt buckles and some of the metal bits just mixes up your textures a little bit and makes it a bit more interesting to look at. Obviously, once I've painted the white, I'll probably go and do the rivets, but I like to put a bit of a wash around them. So yeah, pretty good. Dave's got to run and sort out some milk and a JD honey for me to clear this cold. Catch you soon, folks. See you later, Dave. Hope Miles is enjoying the rest of the stream. So yeah. But no, I've really enjoyed painting these orcs. More so than I thought I would. What about you, Jay? You, like for the Black Templars, I know you kind of went into them looking forward to painting them anyway, but have they kind of like lived up to the hype?
Definitely so far. I mean, I like painting Space Marines. I like the defined panel lines and things like that. It really suits my style of painting. And I do enjoy painting a Space Marine. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the. I'm just enjoying picking out the details. Like I'm working on the sword now, and I'm just being really careful not to cover up all this lovely inscription. I just a second ago was painting up some of the gold detail on him. It's really nice. I'm just really enjoying taking time. I know I've got like a deadline coming up, but I do want to, give this guy the sort of attention he deserves, and then maybe try and refine the process a bit on the regular grunts, like the basic infantry.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing with the Unicorns event as well, because you don't necessarily have to have a painted army, even if you just get some of the characters painted.
That's it, yeah.
Obviously, I think we'll both try and get our armies finished for it, but at least you've got the option if you don't, basically.
Yeah. I have a feeling there'll be some late nights in the near future for me. Although, like you say, with I remember Indomitus. I don't know how many points of Space Marines were in Indomitus, but I got all those Ultramarines painted up in I can't remember what it was now, a week or something.
It wasn't long. So this was, when was this? Last summer.
Yeah.
Last summer, Games Workshop very kindly sent us the Indomitus box to review, and we wanted to do a day one battle report, didn't we, Jay?
That's it, yeah.
And in order to do that, we needed to have 2 painted Indomitus forces. So I think it was about 3 days off the top of my head.
I just remember it. It was. I spent a long. Yeah, I was up until 2 a.m. painting those models.
And they looked really nice. If you look on our YouTube, we've actually got a bit of a showcase video where we show off the models that we painted for that, and I'm really proud of those models. I think we did well considering the time we had to paint them.
Definitely, yeah.
Because 3 days isn't that long.
No, it's not.
But no, they're really nice armies, and I do like using them as well.
Yeah, I love using the Ultramarines, and I've been adding to them still. I did the heavy intercessors, the Impulsor, and Ultramarines are nice because they get a lot of support model wise, and there's always something new to add to the Ultramarines, which is why I like them.
Yeah, well, I'm planning on. I mean, I've got a lot of Necrons already because I painted the Sprues and Brews Indomitus that we got, and then I picked up an Indomitus box as well, plus the Silent King and a few other bits and bobs. I've got some Doomstalkers in the Silent King that I need to paint up, and then as the stuff comes out with Imperium magazine, I want to kind of expand out the Necron army.
Yeah.
And Dave's doing some Necrons as well, but I think we've kind of got different things in our armies, which is nice. Different flavors of Necrons.
Yeah.
Which is always cool. Yeah,
he's gone more with the Void Dragon. You've got the Silent King, and then what's the other character you've got? The really nice model they released.
Oh, the Illumina Zeras.
That's it. Yeah, he was an 8th edition model, wasn't he? Actually, Psychic Awakening, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I think he was a bit of a precursor of the Indomitus stuff, and I think even then, obviously with COVID, the release schedule was a bit wonky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he was painted in the same studio style. I mean, I think realistically that would have come out immediately before Indomitus, where I think it was shifted around a little bit. It's which is something that we're seeing at the minute. I think with the release schedule anomalies we've got the last few weeks. Obviously, there's a lot of global shipping and supply issues, isn't there? So I think everything might be a little bit wonky at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully things will be back to some normality soon, though. Hopefully in time for Christmas. Because that gives me a little time to catch up then, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, yeah.
So we mentioned about the Christmas army boxes earlier. Anything that you'd like to see as a Christmas army box?
Gloomspite Gits would be cool.
Gloomspite Gits would be cool.
So I'm painting some of those. Slaves to Darkness would be another cool one.
What would be in your dream Slaves to Darkness box?
Oh, I'm trying to think what I'd like. Chaos Lord or Manticore. I think that would be a nice model that I'd like to paint.
Nice.
A War Shrine. That would be cool.
Yep.
I'd like to see the new plastic Chaos Warriors in there, but I've got a feeling that they wouldn't appear in a Chaos box until they were released separately.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they're on the same frame as the Knights.
Yeah, it'd probably be Chariots. If I'm being realistic, it'd probably be Chariots, Chaos Lord and Manticore, War Shrine, even Chaos Spawn. Like, I'd like to paint up some Chaos Spawn because I've got a Tzeentch army, Noble army, Khorne, all that sort of stuff. So I'd like to paint some of them up. I think that'd be cool.
You can never have too many Chaos Spawn, can you?
No. I mean, to be honest with you, when it comes to the Christmas boxes, I don't think I've really bought a Christmas box in a couple of years.
The Gloomspite Gits one was good last year, where you got
it was,
Skaven and Trogs, didn't you?
Yeah, I think because at the time I was still painting up like Sons of Behemoth and stuff like that. I didn't really look at any of the Christmas boxes, if I'm being honest. But yeah, this year having a bit more freedom, hopefully. I might pick up one or two of the Christmas boxes, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do this year because, looking back on 2021, it's like they've done quite a lot of armies, especially for like Age Sigmar and 40k. I honestly don't know what they could do. They could do anything, couldn't they?
I think traditionally there's about 10 boxes. I think last year it was split 6 40k ones, 4 Sigmar ones. Now obviously the split might be the other way around with obviously Dominion being the focus this year. We've also in past years had some Adeptus Titanicus ones as well. So I've got the what's it called? Well, it's just out of shot. The big Maniple box that they did. That was a really good box. They did one a couple of years earlier as well, which was a different Maniple, but the same idea where for essentially 100 quid you got an entire Titanicus army, which is a bargain. I wonder, could we see some like Aeronautica boxes?
Oh yeah, interesting.
That might be a good way to get people into Aeronautica, maybe, where you can get your entire fleet, armada, whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
And I think people would pick that up as well for a painting project, if not like buying into the game.
Yeah, I'd paint some Aeronautica for just a one-off, a bit like Middle Earth. I like picking Middle Earth models up every now and again.
Middle Earth was one I was going to say. I don't know whether we tend to see them as Christmas boxes, but I would like to see like a Mirkwood box or a Gondor box, where you can pick up a lot of plastics and things.
Yeah, I think the problem is there's not much in the way of plastic heroes, is there, for Middle Earth yet?
No.
They've got a few.
It's a bit sparse on it. Like, they haven't really released any plastic boxes for Middle Earth that weren't heroes for years now, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I think all the releases, haven't they, been heroes, which arguably, if you've got a limited sprue budget, you get those heroes updated because you can do much cooler stuff now compared to, older releases.
Mm-hmm.
So in the chat, Thank479 says got to be Skaven, not just because I'm biased, but because the existing box is Pestilence only. Yes, that's a biggie.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't play Pestilence. I'd want some more of the weird stuff. Logan2213 wants Battlefleet Gothic, but yeah, let's go for it. Battlefleet Gothic surprise army box. I think everybody's all over that.
They could just release the old one. The old one was ace.
Yeah, it would actually. It'd be really cool. Oh, I love Gothic. I hope we do see it come back again. It all kind of depends on, I guess, how Aeronautica and Titanicus have sold. Word of mouth, I think a lot of people play Titanicus. Aeronautica, not so much, maybe.
Well, we did a few Aeronautica events up at Warhammer World.
Okay. So remember,
I think it was not Warhammer, Rob. One of the guys that works for Games Workshop got dressed up in like an air, like a 1940s.
Oh, with like the flight goggles and stuff on.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it Rob Crouchley?
Rob Crouchley, yeah. I just
know,
sort of that and I was like, if you're going to do an Aeronautica event, that's how you do it.
I know Nick Baton's a fan of Aeronautica as well.
Yeah.
I'd really like to play it. Like Jay said earlier in the stream, the problem is just time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hobby time. But I would really like to paint up those new Space Marines. I've got a Ork fleet and a Imperial fleet. So yeah, maybe we should roll some dice and push some tiny planes around. It definitely seems like one that would be you'd be able to play like a quick hour game, which you can't always do with 40k or Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. Did either of you ever play the Star Wars X-Wing game?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was always good fun because, like you said, you could just pick up a couple of ships or whatever, play a game for half an hour, if that, and you could probably play multiple games in half an hour. It's nice just to play. We used to go to in our local town. We used to be a shop called Watchtower Games, which was like a little local game shop, and it was a bit small because it was a small little business just getting started sort of thing. So it didn't have a huge amount of space. So we used to play Star Wars X-Wing quite a bit, and I imagine Aeronautica is similar in size to that.
I reckon there's some X-Wing in its DNA, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's some interesting mechanics where you pick like your formation, and then it depending on what you and your opponent's done, you're kind of like flying around each other, reacting and trying to double guess what they're going to do. So it looks like there's some fun mechanic stuff in there. So yeah, definitely up for giving it a go. JB Paints is in the chat saying hello chaps, how are we doing? We are painting. I'm working on some Orks, Andy is painting some Squigs, and Jay is painting the Emperor's Champion from the new Black Templars Army Set. Black Templars Army Set. Number of times I've had to edit my video because I kept calling it a launch box or an army box.
Yeah. The Sisters of Battle was a launch box, was it?
Sisters of Battle was so the Lumineth was a launch box. Indomitus and Dominion were launch boxes, but the Sisters of Battle was an army set.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get the lingo right, unfortunately.
Yeah, keep you on your toes.
Yeah. But yeah, by all accounts, some awesome models in that box. I hope that we see the Sword Brethren sooner than later.
Oh yeah, the Sword Brethren are so good. I want the Sword Brethren sooner or later because I want to use them as a base for my Blade Guard veterans.
Yeah.
Because they are, they're awesome models anyway. So I definitely want some Sword Brethren in my army. But the armor is very distinct with the the tabard, full tabard, rather than the Blade Guard veterans sort of half tabard. And you've got the proper Black Templars, like neck gorget, is it whatever you call them. So I do really want to try and convert some of them to Blade Guard veterans, because I still think, after having the codex now for a few days and flicking through, there's still a place for the trusty Blade Guard veteran, I think, especially because you can upgrade your squad sergeants. You can upgrade them with relics. You can give them extra wounds, extra attacks.
And give your squad those special relics as well. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So I think you can really, like a Black Templars unit, you can sort of hide some really, really strong characters in there. With an apothecary following them round, so that if the sergeant does go down, you can sort of bring him back.
Yeah, well, I mentioned in the video, you can kind of make your squad leaders like mini characters, can't you? There's quite a few upgrades. Give them extra wounds, give them relics, give them all sorts of stuff.
Extra attacks, extra weapon skill. So yeah, so I think a Blade Guard veteran sergeant will be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you can give him the Sword of Judgment, which is like a damage-free, AP-free, strength +3 sword. And on a Blade Guard veteran sergeant with the +1 attack and +1 weapon skill, he's going to be getting like 5 or 6 attacks, hitting on 2s with that strength 7 AP-free, damage-free sword. And your opponent,
he's arguably safer than a character because you can't even target him, can you?
Exactly, he's there in the squad. And the good thing about this as well, was the Grey Knight Codex, they had a similar sort of upgrade system, not for their sergeants, but you could give characters these one-use gifts and relics, but they were very expensive, like 30 points, 35 points. The Black Templars relics are like 10 points. So you definitely want to spend them and use them on your troops. They're not like prohibitive in the costs, which is great. Because I mean, why have all these great rules if you just can't afford to take them?
Yeah, and if you're giving these characters the relics, then you absolutely need to use the name generation chart to name them.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you play match play, by law, you need to name your characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a cool thing. I hope we see more of that for other books as well.
Yeah.
Because back in second edition, there was more gradients of characters that you could buy and have things attached to units, and it kind of brings back kind of the feeling of that. That your squad leaders are someone special rather than just a guy with extra weapon skill or something in the squad, or an extra attack. So yeah, really cool. Everyone watching in the chat, what are your favourite models out of the new Black Templar box? Or do you prefer some of the ones that haven't come out yet, like Helbrecht, who's amazing, Maldus, who's amazing? There's not a bad model in the range, is there?
There isn't, no. The only disappointment I've got in around it, and it's like, I'm not even worried about it, is the fact that they didn't get like a special dreadnought or an upgrade to the dreadnought to make it more Black Templary.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. I mean, even the Marshal kit is such a nice. This army's going to look so different than every other Space Marine army. It's great, and like we were saying yesterday on the stream app, it's a shame that the Space Wolves, Dark Angels, Blood Angels didn't get the same sort of Primaris love. You know, to make a Blood Angels army look different than a Codex Space Marine army. But maybe next time.
Yeah, that's it. That's the kind of thing they can add in next time they look at the range, can't they? So definitely sets a decent precedent for it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Thankful says, brings back memories of when Chris Bone used to dress up as a commissar and shout at people in the queue for Games Day. Games Day. I do miss Warhammer Fest. I know there was a lot of early Warhammer Fest people were disappointed compared to Games Days, but then arguably late Games Days people were disappointed compared to older Games Days. I think the last few Warhammer Fests that we've been to have been really, really good, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I think the last one I went to was, I think I went to Warhammer Fest down in Coventry, I think it was. And before that, it was like a Games Day up in Birmingham in the big
NEC.
Yeah. And I loved that. That was such a nice, fun day. You could just chill out in the bleachers, go around, talk to everyone. I remember I got my Necron Codex signed by Phil Kelly, I think it was.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
A bit of a running joke because Necrons were really good back in 5th edition. That it wasn't a cheesy army because Phil Kelly had signed my codex.
That's a true point. The guy's a legend. Yeah, so I think just before COVID hit, the next Warhammer Fest was going to be back in the NEC again, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, did you have a VIP ticket for that one?
I did. I had a VIP ticket for it. We bought it. I bought a VIP ticket. They only had a limited number of them, and was super looking forward to it. But unfortunately, obviously with COVID and everything, they had to cancel it, and they haven't done one since then, have they?
No.
Maybe next year. Even now, I know a lot of like the. You went to the UK Games Expo, and I think that was a very different experience than previous years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't as big. No, the previous year I think we had like 3 halls jam packed, whereas this one they filled 1 hall really.
And arguably, I'd rather Games Workshop wait till they can do that again rather than try and do a small scale one.
Yeah, a proper one.
Because I don't know about you guys, but I think the way that they did all their preview shows online last year worked really well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, was it? The first one was the Lumineth, wasn't it? We saw the Lumineth cows in the first.
We saw all sorts. Lumineth, we've seen the both Indomitus and Dominion over the course of lockdown. We've seen showing off, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's been a strange year and a half now, maybe even a little bit longer now. It's certainly been a while. But yeah, I'm looking forward to when we can have Warhammer Fest / Games Day / whatever it's going to be called again, because it is a nice community thing to go up and catch up with people and chat with the designers and see the models in the person, because as nice as it is seeing pictures online, it doesn't compare to seeing the models in person, does it? I mean, we rave about going to Warhammer World and going to the museum, and we'll, it's what, £7.50 or something to get in there, but we'll generally go every time just to see those models in person, and it's worth it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
we need to go back to Warhammer World, don't we? Sort of just another day out like we did last time.
We do. I've got a couple of days off at the end of October, so maybe we do an impromptu visit, Jay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, there's when we go to the team event, anyone who takes part in the events gets free access to the miniatures hall.
This is true, yeah. We've often done this at events and tournaments and stuff. It's quite nice having a quick hour between games, having a look around the museum to, I guess, work out what your next project's going to be normally, isn't it?
Yeah.
I went to Throne of Scores ages ago, and they did it's like a campaign weekend basically, and they did like 1,000 point games, 2,000 point games, variety of different game sizes. And I played this young kid who must have been probably about 10 years old, and he had Beastclaw Raiders. So he had like a Frostlord and Stonehorn, 2 units on Mournfang, and like just a random unit of Ogres. And I was running Stormcast at the time. And it was an army made up of stuff that was from the first wave of Stormcast. So it was like Liberators and Celestin on Lord Celestin on Dracoth and stuff like that. And I'd pre-written all of my army lists. So I rocked up to this game with just this army list in mind. I think the kid tabled me in about 15 minutes. So after that, I just walked around the miniature hall, and I had a nice little, had about an hour and a half, 2 hours left in the round, something like that. So yeah, just had a nice little walk around the miniatures hall to make myself feel better.
Yeah, me and David similar. We played an opponent at a doubles event who probably beat us like halfway through the first turn. So, but it meant we had some time to wander around the hall and do some shopping, so it's not all bad. Yeah, on the whole though, I think Warhammer World events, people have got the right mindset, haven't they? Fun games without... Obviously, if you're going to a grand tournament, they're going to be, proper tournament armies, aren't they? But Throne of Skulls, those kind of events, I think they are very accessible for people who are new and maybe feeling a bit nervous about their first tournament. I think a Throne of Skulls style event's a good one to kind of get the feel for tournaments, isn't it? And so the Purple Sparkly Unicorn. So if you're local to Crewe, Cheshire, if you keep an eye on, I mean, we'll normally retweet them, but what's the Purple Sparkly's Twitter handle, Andy?
Bear with me, I will get it now. I think it's at... Oh, no, that's not it. At Purple Sparkly U1. There you go.
So if you want to try an event where, there'll be good lists, but people are fun and they're open to newcomers and showing them how to play the game and making sure that everybody has an enjoyable time, I think it's one of the more important things for the Unicorns events, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we encourage. Ultimately, we just want you to come down, roll some dice and have a bit of a laugh. And because we're quite a small event, we usually don't get any of the big, well-known tournament players and stuff coming down. But yeah, the events itself, and I don't think we've had a bad... I don't think we've never had to have a word with someone, let's put it that way.
Yeah, which is good.
Which
That's
is
a good
great.
thing.
And I think of 10 years of going to events at Warhammer World, I think I've only had like 2 bad opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely a good environment. If you've not done it before, you want to try tournament play, then yeah, I would certainly recommend it.
Yeah, I think they're doing an Age of Sigmar friend schools next weekend.
Yeah.
I wanted to get tickets for that because I think that would have been a good fun.
You never know, there might be some dropouts and they give you a call, Andy.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm not going to lie. If they did, I would be there all weekend without fail. So, yeah, that would be great fun.
It's hard because I imagine they want to get as many people in as they can, but obviously with the current climate, obviously they still can't have a full capacity of Warhammer World, can they?
Yeah, they've got to think about safety first, haven't they? So fair play.
Yeah, and they've been pretty good with that, haven't they?
Yeah. Always good.
Like we went a few weeks ago, didn't we? And it felt very safe to play games.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And it wasn't crowded. They recommended wearing masks when wandering around the exhibition hall, for example. So yeah, it was really well done. And I can't wait till this team event.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
What are you bringing, Andy? You bringing giants?
Yeah, I think I'll probably bring giants. I mean, I might. Oh, pardon me. I might look at Bone Reapers. If there's a Maggotkin book out by then, I might look at Maggotkin. But I think, in all honesty, I'll probably take the giants because they're an army of 6 models. Although I'm not, don't hold me to this, but I might buy myself Kragnos and run a Stomper tribe list. Because I've been running the Taker tribe list, and I think the Taker tribe, if you're going for quote unquote a competitive, optimized Gargant list, that's probably the one you go for because it makes them super strong at the objective game, which is kind of
very strong on the objective.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I wrote a list which was a War Stomper, a Kraken Eater, 2 little Gargants, and then Kragnos. And I think that would be probably a bit more enjoyable for people to play against.
Okay, yeah. You'll have to fight Dave though if he wants to bring Kragnos.
Is he bringing Kragnos?
I don't know. I think he was in 2 minds about bringing Kragnos.
He was, yeah. I'm not sure.
So you might be alright. You might be alright there, Andy.
If not, we'll have to rock paper scissors.
Yeah, absolutely. Or Warhammer for it. Obviously, that's the gentlemanly way of doing it.
What you do is you do Mega Gargants versus Orks, but without Kragnos. Whoever wins,
the winner takes it. Yeah. See, Dave used to be really easy to predict whether he's going to take the first turn. Spoilers: Dave always takes the first turn, but he's been a bit cagey since 2nd edition. Now you get extra command points for going second.
Yeah.
It's hard to psychologically make Dave do what you want him to do turn 1. He's he's wised up to that. But can you believe it, guys? We have been streaming for very nearly 2 hours. So we will be winding up the stream very shortly. But I think before we close out, should we have a look at everybody's progress? Andy, do you want to start talking through what you've done tonight?
So at the minute, I am dry brushing the squigs with Astaroth Red. I've done, let's see if that, it's still a bit. But I've basically done Mephiston Red, Reichling Flesh Shade, and then I'm dry brushing the squigs Astaroth Red just to give them some nice quick highlights. Other than that, all the base coats are done on them, including the infamous grot in Squig's mouth.
Really nice.
So I've done Death Guard Green with a Phonian Camoshade wash, which bizarrely enough is the same way I paint my Plague Bearers.
Right.
But I picked up the Nurgling Green layer paint.
Oh, right.
think with grots, because bizarrely enough, there's not a lot of flesh on the grots. I think I'm going to layer on the Nurgling green paint rather than dry brush it, which is what I do for my plague bearers and stuff.
Have you tried the new Ork flesh, Andy? It's kind of a greeny yellow. I mean, if you see my Orks, are quite bright compared to older stuff that I've done, but that might work quite well for you.
Yeah, I did look at it when I was in Games Workshop this a couple of days ago now. I did look at Ork flesh and think, but then I've got about 4 pots of Death Guard green to use up, so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try it out on this grot, see how it is. I mean, that's a nice thing about grots. You don't have to paint the skin the same on all of them.
Yeah.
So I might experiment and pick up some Ork flesh and try out that. But yeah, the squig for the most part. After this, I might highlight some of the mushrooms, but yeah, it'd be mostly just putting some texture paint on the bases and boom, done.
I'm really looking forward to painting my squigs now, Andy. Jay, you've got a whole host of paints out on your table. How's it going?
For one model, that's half of them. The other half of the paints are over there. So once this model's done, I'll go through and I'll write down every paint I've used to paint the rest of the army. So he's almost there now. All that's left on him, I think, now is the tabard and these purity seals on the back. And that's it. I've got to finish the rock on his base. And then he's pretty much done. I don't know if that's the right spot for him there. I think so.
Yeah, I think it's focusing. Obviously, we'll get some pictures up on Twitter following this as well. Yeah. I've got a little postage stamp-sized image here, but hopefully the guys at home can see what he looks like. He's looking really cool. I like the white and red of the tilting shield. That really stands out against the black armour.
Yeah, that's right. And the actual artwork has the red purity seals as well, which I think I might go back. I've done them Xandri Dust base, but I'm thinking actually I might make them red because you're right, it's a nice little spot colour then. I've seen some Black Templars as well. They use a bit of yellow, so red, yellow, and white on the heraldry, and I really like that. So I think I am going to do this guy here. Is just done like a black and white tilt shield on with a transfer over the one of the white sections. But I think I will do some yellow on some of them because I do think it looks quite nice, and it's almost like that, like say, second edition sort of retro sort of look to them as well, mixing up yellows and whites.
Ace. Well, over in Auckland, most of the base colours are down now. I really just need to put in the white, so lots of layers of Corax white, which I wasn't going to do on the stream anyway because that would take forever. And then once that's done, I then weather it all down, and then I cut in with Galvabrack red for the kind of burgundy kind of dags and stuff on them.
Oh yeah.
And then bar some like tattoos and transfers and stuff, these are nearly done. Obviously some colours need washing down and highlighting up, but certainly nearly battle ready. And that's the plan. Get everything battle ready for the tournament, and then I can always go back in and add some more detail. To be fair, these characters, I might just get them all finished fully before then. And then the big job really is the Great White Squig. So I painted a lot of the non-squig details on him. And what I'm going to do is paint it like a Great White Shark. So it's going to have a white kind of belly. We'll do some dark teeth. And then GW, it looks like they've got a really thinned down pinky purple contrast and done like a recess shade in all the areas. So I'm going to do that because it looks really nice on the official artwork. But yeah, so it's getting there. So I reckon certainly by Tuesday these guys will be done, and then I can start cracking on my my Squig Hog boys then. So hope you've all enjoyed that watching along. If you don't already, why not give us a follow or subscribe over on YouTube? We do this every week. We also do live games on a Saturday, and then over on YouTube with all our reviews, unboxings, that kind of stuff. And then head to spruesandbrews.com for all our written articles and posts. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Sprues and Brews. And we have a weekly podcast that goes out on a Tuesday or Wednesday as well. Basically just search Sprues and Brews on Google, you'll find it that way. So yeah, thanks for all joining us tonight. Massive thanks to those people who have subbed on Twitch as well, that is much appreciated. And yeah, we'll see you all real soon. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. See you later. Bye.
Bye.